Well, it is not mandatory to have Oracle SQL developer to work with SQL. You can also execute SQL in command line. But in this course, we are going to use Oracle SQL developer. It will show your query result in a nice way. So let's start download it. Open up your browser and search for Oracle SQL Developer Download and click the download page link. Okay, select the appropriate installation depending on your OS. I'll download for Windows without JDK because I have already installed Java, so I don't need to download it again. Unzip the download and double click on sqldeveloper.exe. You can create a shortcut on desktop if you want. Okay, once you open up the SQL developer, you need to create a database connection. To do that, right click on connections and select new connection. First, let's create the connection for sysuser. Give the connection name. In this case, I'll give Learn SQL. But you can give any name if you want. Give the username as sys and the sysuser password, which you have already set when installing the database. When connecting to the database as sysuser, you should use role as one of the system roles. So let's select sysdba. Because we install the database in the same computer, we can give localhost as the host name, and the port should be 1521 and SID XE. SID or SID is the site identifier. You don't need to worry about these things too much for the moment. So let's test the connection by pressing the test button. Okay, now the connection is successful. Normally, sysuser has access to all database objects like tables, views, packages, triggers, and etc. So it's not a good idea to practice SQL commands by sysuser login. This means we should have another database user for our exercises. Luckily, we can use existing user and its table and data for our learning purpose. We are going to use user HR for this, and all examples, exercises based on this user. So let's create new connection for user HR. Before create the connection for HR, we need to unlock the user account and grant some privileges, because the HR user by default is locked. To do that, expand the database sysdatabase connection on right side pane and select other users. Right click on HR and select edit users. In the dialog window, you can see the account is locked checkbox is checked. Uncheck it. Give the new password and confirm it. In this case, I'll give the username as the password. That means HR as the password. Unselect the checkbox. Password expires if that is already selected. Then go to the System Privilege tab and scroll down and try to find Create Table Privilege and check it. Now the user unlocked and ready to log in again. To create new connection, go to the connection, right click and select new connections. Here also you can give any name you want. I'll give Learn SQL HR. Give the username and password and user role as default. By the default, it selects as a default role. That's fine. And test the connection. Okay, now we have set up Oracle database, SQL developer, and create the database connection. I hope you have successfully set up your database environment. So let's start the big journey ahead, learning Oracle SQL.